What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another week, another installment of Nick's Picks. This is week 5 of the NFL season, and I am here once again with my friend Ben. Ben? Oh, that's right. He's a Falcons fan. They don't show up to games.
I would say I'm hurt, but I'm numb to the pain at this point.
Currently, the score is 42-39 in favor of me. I gained the point back that Ben gained last week, so I'm back up to 3 points ahead. Again, if you don't remember from week 3, I think was the bet, we have made a bet for eating a ghost pepper for the Super Bowl special. Whoever has the least amount of points by the time of the Super Bowl has to eat the pepper for the entire before the special starts and live with the pain through the rest of the special. Here we are, week 5, the Thursday night game. We finally get a semi-interesting Thursday night game, and I say semi because the Bears are 3-1. I don't think they should be, but they are. They're going up against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Bears are hosting them. Tom Brady honestly surprised me. I had them losing to the Chargers last week, and the Chargers played really well. So this was just completely Tom Brady. He won this game for Tampa last week. I think he's going to stay hot. I have Tampa Bay winning this one 38-24 over the Chicago Bears, just because, look, I don't know what to make of the Chicago team. Like, they're 3-1, but like they played a lot of crap teams. So Tampa Bay 38-24 over the Bears.
We're actually going to have Chicago gain 24 points. Again, we don't know any of these points or ever until we actually call them. But I'm with you. Tom Brady single-handedly won that game for Tampa against still a very good Chargers team. I think Chargers are still very underrated, but nonetheless, Tom Brady willed that team to win. And I think he's going to win. I think it's going to be closer just because I'm still not all the way confident on Tampa. I'm still a little iffy on them. But I got them winning this one 28-24 in a close game. I just think Tampa is just a better team overall, but I'm still a little iffy on them.
The Carolina Panthers are going to the Atlanta Falcons. Now, Carolina, without Christian McCaffrey, has been playing very well the last couple weeks. And I know I talk a lot of shit about Atlanta, but they do still have a really good offense. But, God, that defense, I don't know, man. I mean, Christian McCaffrey is not going to be there, but look, this offense has been doing just fine without him. I have Carolina winning this one 28-14 over Atlanta, but I guess I could see Atlanta winning this one, getting their first win, but after everything that I've seen this season, all the blown leads, I can't pick them.
Remember back in week 1 when you had your Giants pride and picked them against the Steelers and ended up still being wrong? Yeah, that's going to be me. This is probably going to be the last time, at least realistically speaking. I don't know the rest of their schedule on top of my head, but this is going to be the last time, most likely, that I'm picking Atlanta. There's so many things wrong with that defense. The tight end for Green Bay just had 3 touchdowns, and I don't even know who he is. Like, that's the thing. I don't even know who he is. You could argue that's Aaron Rodgers, but that's neither here nor there. But I do have Atlanta win this one in probably the closest score ever for this. I have them winning by 1 point, one singular point. I have them winning 28-27 because it's going to be that close of a game because both teams aren't great, in my opinion. I think Carolina is slightly better, but at the end of the day, this is honestly just me holding on to any kind of glimmer of pride for my team at this point.
I mean, to be honest, if Atlanta's going to beat anyone in this division, it's Carolina. Okay, now the Tennessee Titans, this is an interesting one. So we did pick the Tennessee Titans last week's game against Minnesota. It didn't end up getting played. Oh, it was Pittsburgh? Okay, I'm sorry.
It was Pittsburgh, yeah.
Tennessee against Pittsburgh. It didn't end up playing. It's going to be playing later in the year. We'll hold on to those scores. We'll get the point or not get the point for those when it happens. But for now, we're just going to keep picking the games as if they're going to happen. Tennessee is scheduled to play Buffalo this weekend. And with everybody missing on Tennessee, I'm going to have to pick Buffalo. I probably would have gone Tennessee on this one just because I really like their roster. But with everything going on with them and with how hot Buffalo has been to start the season, I have to go with Buffalo. I have them winning this one 26-13 over the Tennessee Titans. But if Tennessee had all their players, I'd probably be picking Tennessee.
This is a close one for me. I was very close to picking Buffalo, and I'm going to pick Tennessee in this one in a very close game because I think both teams are pretty even as far as like skill set wise. And to my knowledge, I could be wrong on this, but to my knowledge, Tennessee is not really losing like key players, but then again, they haven't released any of the players' names, so to my knowledge, not losing like any real starters, because I think if it was like a starter or like let's say it was Derrick Henry, they would tell you that. But I still got Tennessee winning this one because I think they're slightly better on offense. Because I think both teams have good offenses and both teams have good defenses, but I think Tennessee has a better overall team, and I have them winning this one 30-28 in a very close game. But it wouldn't surprise me if Buffalo wins this one. I said the same thing with the Rams. Week 2 or week 3, whatever it was, and then saying the same thing now, where like both these teams are very good teams.
The Kansas City Chiefs are hosting the Las Vegas Raiders this week. Now, Kansas City has just been dominant. Like, they're easily the best team in the league right now. I mean, you know, you can argue Seattle, I guess, but Kansas City, one of the best teams in the league. Las Vegas may be a good team, but I can't see them winning this one. I have Kansas City winning 31-20 over the Las Vegas Raiders. But, I mean, for me, not much to be said about this. It's really hard for me to not pick Kansas City with just how absolutely stacked this roster is.
Oh, no, I completely agree with you on that. I mean, Las Vegas is a very good team. I think they're very underrated. But Kansas City is just... it's a different animal. It's a different kind of team that you're playing up against. Obviously, divisional games, you know, they're a little chippier. They might get closer. But I got Kansas City winning this one 38-24 over the Las Vegas Raiders because they have so many weapons that and Raiders don't really have much of a defense, so it's really not going to be that much of a contest.
Okay, the Arizona Cardinals going up against the New York just end the seasons. Now, look. If you missed my last video, I had a team full of quarterbacks in Madden go up against the Jets, and I actually managed to beat a real football team with a team full of quarterbacks. That would mean all of my offensive line is 12 overalls. All of their defense was 12 overalls, and the New York Jets couldn't beat them. Like, I was able to beat the Jets. So, this has nothing to do with how good Arizona is, because they have failed me the last 2 weeks, losing to Detroit and then Carolina. But this is just a testament to how bad the New York Jets are. I have the first ever shutout in our picks. Arizona winning this one 24-0 over the New York Jets. I don't think it'll actually happen, but just to show the world how poorly I think of the Jets, 24-0 against the Arizona Cardinals.
I'm almost tempted, even if it's like 7-0 Arizona, to give you an extra bonus point just because it's a shutout. But I'm not going to do that. But I think the Jets, because they are at least registered as a football team, not the Washington football team, but they are an NFL team nonetheless. We can put an asterisk or whatever next to them and the Giants, but they're still a team, sort of. But Arizona is just a more complete team and have better overall players. So I got Arizona win this one 28-6. And I wouldn't be surprised if they do like less than that and also get shut out. But I do think the Jets will at least get some points.
The Pittsburgh Steelers hosting the Philadelphia Eagles. Philadelphia leading the NFC least in their division with a 1-2-1 record. Just absolutely disgraceful. But they did play a little better against the 49ers. Yes, I know the Niners have been riddled with injuries, probably worse than any other team in the league this year. But they did play a little bit better. I'm not picking them. I'm still going to go with the Steelers. But I can see this one being somewhat close. I have the Steelers winning this one 33-30 over the Philadelphia Eagles. But God, I don't even, like, I can pinpoint what's wrong with the Giants. I can pinpoint what's wrong with the Cowboys. And I can pinpoint what's wrong with the the Washington football team. But I really don't know what's wrong with this Philly team. There's really no reason they should be as bad as they are. But yeah, 33-30. I have the Steelers winning this one.
See, you can't pin it down. I can pin it down. And I might get hate for this. I personally do not care. It's Carson Wentz. I don't believe in him whatsoever. I don't. I don't know why people are still high on him I mean, I get it. He signed a contract, so they have to keep him. You know, I feel the same way with Matt Ryan with his contract. I don't know why he has that much money, but hey, neither here nor there. I had this one somewhat close, not really. I got Pittsburgh winning this one 30-21, just because I'm with you. I just don't know what's wrong with Philly. I know they're I don't think they're a good team. I don't think they're a bad team, but I just can't pinpoint what's really wrong other than Carson Wentz. And you have to look at the quarterback, I think, at that point.
I will say this before we move on to the next game. My 2-point conversion last week was that Jalen Hurts would see time at quarterback, and he did. He came in for one play and fumbled, so we did not give me the 2 points. That was not earning of 2 points. The Rams are 3-1 because they are playing the Washington football team this week, and that is the fourth and final NFC East team that they play this year. So they've had by far the easiest schedule of any team so far this season. And I mean, they're going to win this one too. I have them winning 20-14, but don't be fooled by the Rams record. I don't think they're that great of a team. I think they're okay. I think they're about middle of the pack. 3-1 does not say how good this team is. They've played the worst division in football in 4 straight weeks, basically, with the exception of 1 week.
I got the Rams winning this one, and the score doesn't dictate how good I think the Rams are. They played 3 NFC East teams, and the one team that didn't play was also from the East, but it was Buffalo. So I do have the Rams winning this one 28-10. But that's really more so because I think Washington is just that bad, not the Rams are that good. Now, the Rams are a very good team. I think they are underrated. Do I think they're a 3-1 team? No, but looking at who they played, it does make sense. But yeah, I still got them winning this one 28-10.
All right, back-to-back easy games to pick. The Baltimore Ravens are hosting the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, Cincinnati's shown very, very, very little signs of light in this team. I mean, Joe Burrow's good. He's not great. Their defense is not that good. The rest of their offense around Joe Burrow is not that good. And Baltimore's Baltimore. There's something about Baltimore to where they can't beat the good team. So for me, Baltimore is just good. They're not great, but they're better than Cincinnati. That's a given. That's not too arguable. I do have them winning this one 35-23 over the Bengals, but it'll be interesting to see what Baltimore does the rest of the season when they actually play contenders.
I mean, we did see them when they played against Kansas City, and they didn't play that well, but I also think that just more so because KC is just that much better. But at the end of the day, I agree with you. Cincinnati, and I have high hopes for them, but it's really more so with Joe Burrow because I do think he's doing well. He just doesn't really have much around him. Baltimore is just far better than Cincinnati. I have them winning this one 32-17. Just because, again, Lamar Jackson and that Ravens offense is just... Do we need to play the clip of when they played them last year and Lamar Jackson just spun between two Bengals defenders and just kept running in for a touchdown? Because that just is my mind whenever I hear Baltimore Cincinnati. It's just that play.
The Houston Texans finally smarten up and fire Bill O'Brien. Thank the Lord. Thank everything that is holy. He has absolutely destroyed this team. I actually got an update earlier today on ESPN about, I guess, J.J. Watt got into it with him, and that might have led a little bit more to the firing, but he should have been fired a long time ago. J.J. Watt did not have to get into his face for him to get fired. He deserved it. It was a long time coming. The Jacksonville Jaguars are the team that they played this week. They're hosting the Jaguars, and I think this is probably as good of an opportunity as any for the Houston Texans to get their first win of the season. So I'm going to give it to them. I'm going to predict them for this one. I have the Texans winning this one 24-20 over the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think finally, the Houston Texans get their first win.
I don't remember if we ever had a score prediction this close before, but this is very close. First off, I agree with you. Bill O'Brien, first off, he should have... I've never seen a coach blow a 24-point lead in the playoffs.
You haven't?
Hang on. I'm getting to that. A 24-point lead in the playoffs and then get promoted. Yes, I know Atlanta has choked a bunch of leads, but Dan Quinn didn't get promoted. Yeah. He still has his job. Don't know why, but he didn't get promoted. Bill O'Brien got promoted, and his first act was getting rid of DeAndre Hopkins because of contract disputes, something. I don't know. I am with you, though. I think it's going to be a close game just because I don't think Houston's that much better than Jacksonville, but I do think they had tough games, and I think they're better than Jacksonville. I have Houston win this one 24-17. to 21. So this is a close one when it comes to the 5 points for score or for predicting the score correctly for us. But yeah, I do think Houston's better. And thank all that is holy that Bill O'Brien no longer is a part of that franchise.
All right, the San Francisco 49ers gave the Philadelphia Eagles their first win of the season last week, but they go up against the Miami Dolphins this week. And with everything going on with the 49ers, they're still a better team than Miami. Now, I do think we have a good opportunity of seeing Tua this week for Miami. I don't know what the whole medical situation is because I know Tua's got a very long history of injuries, so they've been very cautious with him. I think this is our first real good shot that we'll see Tua. Regardless, whether he comes in or not, I do think the 49ers will still end up winning this one. I have them winning 30-17 over the Miami Dolphins, but I personally would love to see Tua start or just at least come into the game for the Miami Dolphins this week.
I mean, I think it would be good and bad if he comes in any kind of way because it's still a very good team. So you wouldn't. I think if he does go in, the team shouldn't hold him too much if he doesn't do well because it is still a very good Niners team. Yes, they lost Bosa and I think Solomon Thomas, 2 star defensive linemen on their team. It's not even close. I think Garoppolo is going to be back this week, but I don't know for a fact. But either way, that would only change the score a little bit. I got the Niners winning this one 34-14. Like Miami is just I don't know what's going on there. Like first it was tank for Tua, and now I don't know what they're. I guess they're tanking for some player. I guess I don't know.
Okay, now the Cleveland Browns play the Indianapolis Colts in Week 5, and I just want to say one thing: don't be fooled by the fact that the Cleveland Browns put up 49 points against the Cowboys, because the Cowboys are an absolute wreck. Like Cleveland Browns putting up 49 points does not mean they're a good team. They were good at running the ball. They had a good game plan to go up against the Cowboys, and they took advantage of the absolute dumpster fire that is the coaching staff and the organization that is the Dallas Cowboys. The Indianapolis Colts, on the other hand, have been pretty good for the most part this season. And I think Cleveland's not going to be able to do the same kind of game plan that they had against the Cowboys against the Colts. And if they do, it's not going to be as effective. I do think it'll stay close because I do think roster-wise, talent-wise, these two teams are pretty even. But I give the edge to the Indianapolis Colts on this one. I have them winning this one 27-24 over the Cleveland Browns.
I actually do have Cleveland winning this one in a close game just because I think both... I don't know. Indianapolis is weird. Like, I think they're a better team than their record lets on, but like I still don't know if they're like that much better than Cleveland. I got Cleveland winning this one 30-24. I think it's gonna be close, but at the same time, like it doesn't mean I think Cleveland's that much better than Indy. I just think that they're just gonna win this game.
The New England Patriots have had one roller coaster ride of a week. They lost Cam Newton right before a big Kansas City showdown, which, I mean, granted, we both picked Kansas City anyway, so we both kind of lucked out there. But if the Patriots had a shot, it all went out the window when Cam Newton was listed as out for that game. Now, the New England Patriots have lost Stephon Gilmore to the same problem. But they're going up against the Denver Broncos, who just haven't found any sort of identity this season. They lost their quarterback. I'm not sure if he comes back this week. I do think the offense is showing a little bit of light for the Broncos, but regardless, I don't think this is going to be an overly great game. Whether or not Cam Newton plays, which I'm pretty sure he's not, I do have the New England Patriots winning this one 17-14 over the Broncos, but that score is specifically for the fact that the Patriots offense is going to struggle without Cam. Denver's offense already struggles, and the fact that they keep it close is because they don't have to deal with Gilmore.
Then there's me, and let's also remember that the Patriots lost, I think, like 6 to 8 starters on that defense because they just opted out of the season. And that defense is still doing pretty well. Yes, Stephon Gilmore is the best cornerback in the league. He's the reigning defensive player of the year. I get all that. But Denver is still, I don't know what's going on with Denver. I thought they were like an average team. I think we said before, I think they're just in flat out limbo of they're either like trying to do bad to get a good pick, or they're trying to win and they just can't because they don't have good players. Like, they're just in that weird, like, gray area. But I do have New England winning this game 24-10, just because I think Belichick, scheme-wise, can still do well. If Cam Newton's not in, I think Cam Newton will play. I don't know for a fact, but like even if he is in or not, it would just affect the score of how much I think New England's going to win by. Either way, I still got New England winning this one. Again, 24-10.
I used to get so excited for this game every time it came on. These two teams used to be the best two teams in the East, with Philly just kind of hanging in there too. I used to love watching these games. My dad is a Cowboy fan. We would watch these games together. We would absolutely go at each other every time these two teams played. But now it's like, God, all right, so the Giants, I can give you a super long list of all their problems. The Dallas Cowboys have really no excuse, but here's their problem. It's 2 words, very simple. Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones is the issue for the Dallas Cowboys. He hired probably the worst coach that he could have hired out of everyone that was available in the last offseason, because he hired a coach that he can control, just like Jason Garrett. Then they go around and they hire, I can't remember his name off the top of my head, defensive coordinator, who is an offensive line coach for, I think, the Baltimore Ravens. I'm probably getting that wrong, but look, you don't just hire an offensive line coach just because Mike McCarthy likes the guy. Like, that's the stupidest reason, and it's really showing with how bad the Dallas Cowboy defense has been this year. The Giants, like I said, a list of problems, but last week against the Los Angeles Rams, I do think their defense showed that they're not as bad as we think that they are, and the offense is very, very bad, but showed a little bit of promise. As a Giants fan, I can't. It's the Giants and the Cowboys. I would be... Giants fans around the world would absolutely put me up on a cross if I picked the Cowboys over the Giants. So I have to go with the Giants just from my heart. I'll keep it extremely close. Our second 1-point game of the week, 21-20 over the Dallas Cowboys. But, I mean, honestly, I can see the Giants winning this one. I don't think that's too far-fetched.
So, the defensive coordinator for the Cowboys is Mike Nolan.
Mike Nolan, that's what it was.
Let's just go a list of how bad he is. When he was a head coach for the Niners from 05 to 08, he had a record of 18-37. He was a defensive coordinator for Atlanta. We know how bad Atlanta's defense has been. Then he was the Chargers linebacker coach and the Saints linebacker coach, and they were also bad. Now he's the Cowboys defensive coordinator. So why would they think their defense would be any better when he couldn't do it as a head coach and he couldn't do it as a defensive coordinator? Why? Because of Jerry Jones. We know exactly why, and you said it perfectly. I don't think any team from this division should even make the playoffs, even if they somehow win the division. I have them winning in a 1-point game, though, the Giants. But this is also how bad they are. Both teams are terrible. Even though the Cowboys defense is trash, I have the Giants winning this one 10-9, because I think both teams are going to be so bad that the Giants will have the only score in the entire game as far as a touchdown is concerned. That's it.
All right, the Sunday night game this week, the Seattle Seahawks going up against the Minnesota Vikings. Now, this is one of those games where, like last year or the year before, this might have been a really interesting game to watch. This year, not so much. Minnesota's starting to look a little better, but again, you have a limit when you have Kirk Cousins as your quarterback. You have an extreme limit. Now, this defense is good. It's not quite what it was a couple years ago, but it's still good. Dalvin Cook, still one of my favorite running backs to watch outside of Saquon Barkley in the league. But look, it's the Seattle Seahawks. You have prime MVP candidate Russell Wilson. You have a defense that does everything that it needs to do to set up the offense. And look, Seattle is probably the front runner in the NFC to win the NFC championship this year. Outside of maybe Green Bay, I don't see too many teams fighting Seattle. So for me, this is kind of an easy one. I have the Seattle Seahawks winning this one 32-24 over the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think right now at this point in the season, I think it's between Russell Wilson and Aaron Rodgers for MVP. I do think Mahomes is up there, but that's because Mahomes is the best quarterback in my opinion, so he's going to be up there. Same thing with LeBron in basketball. Like, LeBron's always going to be a candidate for MVP because he's the best in the league. That's just how it is.
Go
but
Heat.
I wouldn't say that after Game 4.
Shut up.
Oh, sorry, I meant Game 5.
I'm a Heat fan. If you people can't tell,
I do have Seattle winning this one 30-21 because I do think Minnesota has a good enough defense to make a playoff push. But again, they're playing who I think is the MVP right now in the season, and I think he's going to do really well, even though he didn't give me my 2-point conversion. But totally not mad about that. Either way, again, I got Seattle winning this one 30-21 over Minnesota.
All right, so the New Orleans Saints get the Los Angeles Chargers on Monday night, and we talked about the Chargers a little earlier, how they really, really, really held their own against Tampa Bay. If it wasn't for Tom Brady throwing 5 touchdown passes and that one mistake by Justin Herbert at the end of the game, I do think the Chargers would have won that game. And me and Ben were just talking about it before the pick, that we were both very, very close to picking LA for this one. Look, the New Orleans Saints, they're finally starting to get into a groove. Drew Brees has got his number 1 star in Michael Thomas back. So I do think the Saints end up winning this one 35-30 over the Los Angeles Chargers. But look, just know it was very, very difficult to not pick the Chargers this week with how well that they've been playing.
I agree with you. I think the Chargers, they're a very good team. I was literally a second away from picking the Chargers. I was very, very close. I don't think Michael Thomas is back in this game, but I mean, I could be wrong. I think he started practicing, so if he is back, that would only affect the score for this game for me. But I do have the Saints still winning in a very, very close game. 30-28 over the Chargers, but I was literally so close to changing. I was actually close to changing it before I said it just now. I was very close to switching to the Chargers, but Drew Brees is a proven quarterback. He shows up on prime time. The only time he doesn't is because the refs screw them over, like the Rams and the Vikings. Well, twice to the Vikings.
Okay, moving on to our 2-point conversions for this week. Now, I talked about it a little bit with the Jets and how they're just absolutely atrocious. I beat them with a team full of quarterbacks on Madden. I have them as my first ever shutout for these Knicks picks. And look, this all falls down to Adam Gase. How he still has a job is beyond me. If Adam Gase isn't fired by Tuesday, the Jets have no hope. No hope. I mean, they already have no hope for the season, but I mean, like, no hope in the near future. And by near future, I mean, like, in the next 3-4 years. Granted, yes, Adam Gase is going to get fired at some point this season, but the fact that they've held on to him this long just shows how bad the front office is above the head coach with decision making. So, my 2-point conversion, I thought it would be an interesting pick to make. I think Adam Gase will no longer be the New York Jets head coach by Tuesday. So if by the end of the day, Tuesday, Adam Gase has been fired, that is my 2-point conversion.
I was very close to saying the same thing with Dan Quinn because I do think he needs to get fired, but I'm holding off just a little bit. I'm giving him, like, this is literally his last chance. In all honesty, if he doesn't win or at least keep it close. So my 2-point conversion is because they blew the lead in the Super Bowl, blew back-to-back 15-point leads, at least 15-plus point leads to the Cowboys and the Bears. Of all teams, the Cowboys and the Bears. Not like, good teams. The Cowboys and the Bears. My bold prediction is that the Falcons will not blow the lead in this game, but on top of that, not only will they not blow the lead, they will at least have the lead at the end of the third quarter. So starting in the fourth quarter, they will have the lead, and they will never lose the lead. Now, if they lose the lead for a minute and then they get it back, I still lose a 2-point conversion. So they will not blow the lead, they will win the game, and they will have the lead entering into the fourth quarter and never lose the lead.
42-39 is the current score. So stay tuned the rest of the time. Ben, do you have anything left to say that's not Atlanta related? Before we go.
Rest in peace, Saquon Barkley's ACL.
Fuck off.
Hey, Hey, you said anything not Atlanta. You didn't say anything not New York Giants.
The NFC East is trash would have been okay. Like, I would have accepted that.
Well, I mean, that's a fact.
Guys, have a great one. Peace.